Children spend a lot of time in cars these days, often in heavy traffic and bad weather. While you may be a safe driver, others can be careless, reckless, distracted by mobile devices, or under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Motor vehicle crashes are a leading cause of death for children in the United States. But statistics show that most motor vehicle-related deaths and injuries are preventable. Children must be buckled up when riding in a vehicle. It's the law in every state. And safety seats are required to meet rigorous federal standards. So what's the problem? While parents are using safety seats for their children, thousands of inspections across the country have found that nearly 9 out of 10 seats are being used incorrectly or are the wrong type of restraint for the child. If you don't choose, install, and use a safety seat correctly, it can make a critical difference in a crash. The difference between life, death, or irreversible injury. So that's the challenge, and that's what this video is all about. Whether you're expecting your first baby or need a safety seat for your older child, consider the following. Is it the right type of seat for your child? How easy is it for you to use? Will it work in the back of your vehicle where all safety seats must be installed? Before you begin looking for a safety seat, read your vehicle owner's manual and find warnings on your sun visors, seats, and safety belts. Then visit a store that carries a variety of safety seats. Discover how the harness systems work and try adjusting the straps on any seat you're considering. Do you like the way the seat works? Will you be able to use it correctly every time? When you buy your safety seat, register it so manufacturers can contact you about recalls and safety notices. If you need personalized help choosing the right seat for your child, installing and using it correctly, don't hesitate to contact a certified child passenger safety technician in your area who is trained to help. Go to safekids.org or seatcheck.org. Before we show you specific safety seats, let's first look at some important features inside today's vehicles. Since the year 2000, most cars are required to have tether anchors for at least 3 backseat positions. These help Stage 2 safety seats, ones that face forward, provide more protection. This crash test footage demonstrates how important the tether is for keeping your child's head from moving forward into the danger zone. Look at your vehicle owner's manual to locate the tether anchors in your car. Here are tether anchors in a minivan. Here are tether anchors in a sedan. Since 2003, most vehicles have been equipped with lower anchors for at least 2 seating positions, and together with the tether anchor, they make up the latch system. Lower anchors and tethers for children. To install a car seat with latch, you'll need to use the 2 lower connectors to attach the seat to the 2 lower anchors. And if it's a forward-facing seat, attach the tether strap provided for the tether anchor. Lower anchor bars can be found in or near the seat crack, where the vehicle seat back and cushion meet. Some vehicles have buttons, tags, or other symbols to show that the bars are nearby. Any safety seat you buy can be installed using either the lower anchors or the vehicle safety belt, but usually not both at the same time. Again, check your safety seat and vehicle instructions. Latch was developed to make it easier to install safety seats, but you may not know that lower anchors are currently designed for a maximum combined weight of the child and safety seat up to 65 pounds. Warnings about lower anchor usage will be written in your instruction booklet and more recently on labels of heavier car seats. Otherwise, you'll have to contact the manufacturer. If there's any doubt, use the vehicle safety belt to strap in your child's safety seat. Any strap, tether, or belt used to install a safety seat must be properly routed, lie flat and untwisted, and stay tight. Shoulder belts in cars are designed to be loose and only lock in an emergency. A child safety seat must be held tight at all times so it cannot move from side to side or toward the front of the car more than an inch. Many safety seats today have a built-in mechanism called a lock-off. If your seat has a lock-off, use it to make the safety belt tight. If your safety seat does not have a built-in lock-off, check to see whether your vehicle's safety belts have a locking latch plate. If you have neither, then check whether your vehicle's safety belts can be switched from the emergency locking retractor to the automatic locking retractor. Slowly pull the lap shoulder belt all the way out. Then let it back in and test it. You may hear clicks as it locks every half inch or so. Here is how you switch the locking mechanism when installing a car seat. First, thread the safety belt through your car seat belt path and buckle it. Now slowly pull the shoulder portion of the belt all the way out of the retractor spool. Let it back in. Push down on the seat and help the belt feed back into the retractor spool. With your hands on the belt path, try to move the seat from side to side and to the front of the car. If it doesn't move more than an inch, your child's seat will be held tight during regular driving and in a crash. Because this is a forward-facing seat, remember to attach the tether and tighten it. Now the seat is properly installed and secured. Be aware that when the seat is unbuckled and the safety belt feeds all the way back into the retractor, it reverts to emergency locking. So, for belts of this type, you'll have to switch it every time you install a safety seat. Older cars, made prior to 1996, may not have a built-in locking mechanism, so the lap shoulder belt cannot be made tight enough to properly install a safety seat. If this is the case, then you must use your safety seat lock-off or a locking clip. To use a locking clip, thread the lap shoulder belt through the appropriate belt path on the car seat. Buckle it. Take any slack from the lap portion of the belt so the seat is held tightly. Firmly take hold of the 2 layers of webbing and then unbuckle the belt. Still holding tightly to the 2 layers of webbing, place the locking clip under both layers, within an inch of the latch plate. Rebuckle the belt. Now the latch plate is trapped and the seat is held in place. Now let's look at the 4 stages of protection in a vehicle. Stage 1. The rear-facing seat, for your newborn to at least age 2 and older. Stage 2. The forward-facing seat, from about age 2 until it is outgrown, usually between the ages of 5 and 8. Stage 3, the booster seat, starting between the ages of 5 and 8 until the child can properly sit on the vehicle seat and when the safety belt fits correctly, usually between the ages of 10 and 12. Stage 4, the vehicle seat, in the back seat starting between the ages of 10 to 12. These ages are approximate because children and vehicles are unique. Most important is to keep your child in each stage of protection for as long as possible, without exceeding manufacturer's limits. Now we'll look at safety seats for each stage of protection. Stage 1, rear-facing with a built-in harness. The American Academy of Pediatrics and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration urge parents to keep their children rear-facing in a safety seat with a built-in harness for as long as possible, until the age of 2 to 3 years old, or until the child has outgrown the weight or size limits for that seat. This rear-facing position provides the best protection for a child's head, neck, and spine. The chance of injury to arms and legs also is dramatically reduced. Never ride with a baby in your arms. It is unsafe and against the law. Never, under any circumstance, put a rear-facing safety seat in the front seat of a car equipped with an airbag that cannot be turned off. This crash test with an infant dummy shows the airbag coming out of its compartment with tremendous force. Here you see in slow motion what takes less than a second in real time. The bag strikes the back of the restraint hard enough to break the shell. This violent blow to the child's head could cause brain injury or death. 3 types of car seats can be used rear-facing. Rear-facing only seats, convertible seats that start out rear-facing and then convert to forward-facing, and all-in-one seats that can be used rear-facing, forward-facing, and then as a booster. When using it as a booster, the harness is removed and the vehicle safety belt is used. Here is a rear-facing only seat designed specifically for infants. Check each model for its limits. This one can be used until the baby is 30 pounds or 30 inches tall, and the head still 1 inch below the top of the seat. Rear-facing only seats usually have 2 parts. The base is installed in the vehicle. The carrier snaps in and out. The use of the base is a convenience. You can take the infant carrier in and out of the car without disturbing your child, and the carriers also fit onto many strollers. Never put an infant carrier with your baby in it on top of a shopping cart. Top-heavy seats have tipped over or been knocked off, causing serious or fatal injury. Be careful not to overuse your baby's safety seat during non-travel times. Studies have shown that overuse can be harmful. Constant pressure on the back of your baby's head may cause deformity to the skull. Even when traveling, pediatricians recommend stopping for regular rest breaks so that your baby has time out of the safety seat. Most models allow you to use the safety seat alone, without the base, which is helpful when traveling, for example on an airplane. Place the carrier in the back seat. Lock the handle. And adjust the recline angle by following the guide on the side of the car seat. Thread the safety belt through the belt path and buckle it. This mom is changing the belt from emergency locking to automatic locking. Now she pushes down on the seat and feeds the belt back into the retractor. The seat doesn't move from side to side or to the front of the car more than 1 inch. It is properly secured. Like other types of safety seats, the rear-facing only type has a 5-point harness made up of straps that cross the shoulders and hips, as well as a crotch strap. The crotch strap fits snugly between the legs. You shouldn't be able to pinch the harness strap between your fingers. Shoulder straps are clipped together in the middle of the chest, and the retainer clip is in line with the armpits. In rear-facing seats, the shoulder straps must be at or below shoulder level. Raise the straps when your baby's shoulders reach the next position. The strap level of many seats adjusts without rethreading, but if not, you'll have to rethread them manually. The seat should recline so the baby's head doesn't flop forward, which could affect breathing, but don't recline it too much. Doing that could put your baby at risk in a collision. Follow directions in the instruction booklet and look for a recline indicator on the seat itself. Usually the baby is allowed to lie back between 30 and 45 degrees from upright. Many rear-facing only seats have an adjustable foot on the base to help achieve the correct recline angle, and a visual indicator on the seat. Babies who have outgrown a rear-facing only seat should transition to a larger rear-facing seat. Convertible and all-in-one seats are larger, but most may still be used for a newborn. You adjust them as the child grows. Keep your baby rear-facing for as long as possible. For convertible and all-in-one seats, the weight limit when rear-facing is between 30 and 50 pounds, depending on the model. and the child's head must be at least 1 inch below the top of the plastic shell. This means that most children can fit in their large rear-facing safety seats until they're at least 2 or 3 years old. Look at this crash test footage. In a head-on collision, the child's neck cannot withstand the pull of the impact without causing damage to the spinal cord. The child could die or be paralyzed for life. Here you can see that rear-facing, the baby's head, neck, and back are firmly supported by the padded shell. Studies prove that the rear-facing position is safest for babies in side-impact collisions as well. If you're concerned about the comfort of your older child riding rear-facing, researchers have found that kids are well able to shift to maintain their comfort in this position because they are more flexible than adults. In fact, leg injuries don't show up in crash statistics until children face forward. Bottom line, if children are within the manufacturer's weight and height limits, their head still 1 inch below the top of the safety seat shell, then every part of their bodies, including their arms and legs, will be safer riding rear-facing. The second stage of protection is forward-facing with a built-in harness. These seats are for children who have outgrown the rear-facing seat at about 2 or 3 years old. Forward-facing safety seats with a harness should be used until the upper weight limit, usually 50 or more pounds. The largest models can be used up to 90 pounds. Most accommodate children until they are 5 or 6 years old. This 4-year-old sits against the back of his safety seat and has already put his arms through the shoulder straps. Make sure there are no twists or folds in any part of the harness. Buckle it. Connect the 2 parts of the retainer clip. On this seat, you tighten the harness by pulling on a harness adjuster strap at the bottom. The 5-point harness should be close-fitting at the hips and across the entire body. Use the pinch test to make sure the straps are snug. Your fingers should slide right off the webbing when it's tight enough. The retainer clip should be at armpit level. Forward-facing seats require a tether that limits the forward movement of the seat during a collision. Attach the tether on the back of your safety seat to the built-in anchor in your vehicle and tighten it. Studies by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety have found that only half of forward-facing safety seats were installed using the tether. This is a mistake that can put your child at risk, so carefully read the instructions for attaching the tether. If your vehicle was made before 2000 and is without a tether anchor, most vehicle manufacturers can add it, often for free. We've already seen the convertible and all-in-one seats used rear-facing. Convert these to face forward when the child has outgrown the rear-facing position. There will be some adjustments you must make. When you turn it to face forward, follow instructions for setting it to an approved, more upright position. The shoulder straps now should be at or above shoulder level, and the child's ears below the top of the safety seat. A third type of forward-facing seat combines a forward-facing only seat that has a built-in harness with a booster seat that uses the vehicle safety belt. These seats are sometimes called combination, harness to booster, or harness to booster seats. You use the built-in harness until your child reaches the maximum weight or height limit, or the child's shoulders are above the highest shoulder slots. Then the harness is removed or stored so the seat can be used as a booster with your vehicle lap shoulder belt, which is the next stage of protection. The third stage of protection is the booster seat. Booster seats are designed to raise your child so the vehicle lap shoulder belt fits properly. Here you can see that the booster helps the lap portion of the belt stay low, crossing the upper thighs and away from the soft tissue of the child's belly. The shoulder belt comes over the center of the shoulder between the neck and the arm and crosses at the chest. Booster models typically allow use up to 100 or 120 pounds and about 10 to 12 years old. There are two types of boosters, the high back booster and the backless booster. The high back booster provides the best protection in most situations. The side bolsters often contain protective cushioning for your child's head, and the back can provide whiplash protection when vehicles lack head restraints in rear seats. When purchasing a high back booster, try it out in your car first and make sure the vehicle head restraints don't interfere with the back of the booster seat, or remove the headrests. If you decide to use a backless booster, make sure your child's head is protected by the back of the vehicle seat or the head restraint, and that the child is mature enough to stay in the proper seated position for the entire ride. The last stage of protection is the seat of the vehicle using the safety belt. Take a look at this 8-year-old boy. You may think he's ready to sit on the seat of the vehicle. His legs aren't long enough to bend over the edge of the seat, so he slouches forward. The lap belt is sitting too high over his stomach. The shoulder strap rubs against his neck, so he tucks it under his arm. Another child puts the shoulder strap behind his back to move it away from his neck, and his lap belt is too high on his tummy. Both of these children are in serious danger and could suffer severe injuries in a crash. They each need to be sitting on a booster seat to be safe and comfortable. Look at this 8-year-old boy again on his booster seat. The lap belt now crosses low, touching his thighs, and the shoulder belt sits properly over the center of his collarbone between the neck and shoulder. He's more comfortable and much safer. To determine if your child is ready to transition from a belt positioning booster to the vehicle seat and safety belt, take this 5-step test. 1. Can your child sit all the way back against the auto seat? 2. Do your child's knees bend comfortably at the edge of the seat? 3. Does the belt cross the shoulder between the neck and arm? 4. Is the lap belt as low as possible, touching the thighs? 5. Can your child stay seated like this for the whole trip? When your child can pass every part of the 5-step test, then you've reached the 4th stage of protection and your child can sit on the seat of the vehicle, restrained with the vehicle lap shoulder belt. You'll have to do the 5-step test each time your child rides in a different car because vehicle seats vary in size. And remember, all children under the age of 13 should ride in the back seat, which is almost twice as safe as the front. There are some special vehicle child restraints on the market that we'd like you to know about. The first is a car bed. It is used for premature babies who do not meet the minimum weight for a safety seat and for babies who have medical reasons to lie flat. If you have a child with special needs, you can contact Safety Belt Safe USA for ways to keep them safe in a vehicle. The second restraint is the child travel vest. It is a wearable safety harness that's portable, lightweight, and adjustable. It's very useful when traveling, riding in a taxi, carpooling, or sitting in a small car with multiple safety seats. The third restraint is a new safety seat on the market that is self-installing. It works automatically and interacts with a smartphone application. If you are considering a used safety seat from someone you know, make sure it hasn't been in a crash and look for an expiration date on the seat or in the instruction booklet. If the seat doesn't have its instruction booklet, be sure to get one from the manufacturer and make sure that all the parts are included. Inspect the seat for cracks or signs of wear on the shell. And harness. Go to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration site, safercar.gov, to look for recalls. Older seats may not have an expiration date, so find the date of manufacture on the seat label and do not use it for more than 6 years after that date. If you cannot be certain that a used safety seat is in perfect condition, don't use it. Your community may have a resource for low-cost or free safety seats if you can't afford the appropriate seat. You also want to protect your baby and yourself before the baby is born. If possible, be a passenger, especially toward the end of your pregnancy. But if you have to drive, move your seat as far back as possible, check the pedals, and tilt the steering wheel toward the collarbone rather than the bump. Then use the vehicle safety belt. The lat portion of the belt should sit below the abdomen and be snug. The shoulder belt should be positioned across the chest, midway over the shoulder. Route it alongside and then over the top of the protruding belly, not across it. Sit up straight and avoid leaning forward. Never put the lat portion of the belt across your belly. Never put the shoulder strap under your arm or behind your back. Don't use any add-on products that attempt to readjust the safety belt. These warnings apply to all occupants in the car. Before your baby is born, install and secure the rear-facing safety seat in the back of your vehicle. If you are using a rear-facing only seat, install the base in your car first and bring the carrier in with you. Place your newborn in the seat with his back fully against the back of the safety seat. Make sure all the straps are untwisted. Ease the baby's arms through each of the shoulder straps and buckle them. Connect the two parts of the retainer clip. Slowly pull the harness adjuster strap. It's hard to see with such a small torso, but the hip straps must be snug as well as the shoulder straps. Use the pinch test to make sure. Then check that the retainer clip on the chest is in line with the infant's armpits. Your baby is ready for the trip home. Now snap the seat into the base that has been installed in your car and lock the handle. You can lay a blanket on top of a properly worn harness, but do not wrap your baby in a blanket or thick clothing when strapped in a safety seat. Doing this introduces slack in the harness, which is dangerous in a crash. Be aware that you'll be using a child safety seat in your vehicle for about the next 10 years. Now to review. Thousands of safety checks around the country have shown that 9 out of 10 child restraints are being used incorrectly, or children are in the wrong type for their size and age. You have to select a safety seat that is the right fit for your vehicle, for your child's size, and for your lifestyle. Then it has to be installed and used correctly. Remember, motor vehicle crashes remain a significant and often preventable cause of death and injury of children. Another unfortunate statistic that we have to address as a community is that the majority of children killed by drunk motorists are riding with the impaired driver. So be a safe driver. And before taking your precious cargo for a ride, read about child restraints in your vehicle owner's manual. Pay attention to labels on vehicle seats, safety belts, and visors. Follow instructions provided by the safety seat manufacturer. And don't risk your child's life.